Hello, hello, hello. It is day 53 of 365 days of my raw suspending disbelief journey. It is June 14th, 2024, and today was really kind of all over the map. We have my daughter's dad come to stay with us. He arrived on his birthday, almost on Father's Day. So, like, all of these things kind of happening at once. I had a bunch of calls again. It's just sort of been a really intense, really high energy, very demanding week. And I am, I love being in this energy, but it is also very tiring. And, I do look forward to the lulls after, to the rest periods after. These days I do. I didn't always. These days I do. I realize just how powerful and how beneficial they are to have, and so I I am very grateful for them. Um, I have all of the things that I could share, and at the same time, nothing in particular that is really standing out to me as priority to share in this episode. So I am just trying to think, like, one of the things that has come up, and I think I've mentioned it in previous episodes as well, is that am, um, I have had previously a habit of carrying people, carrying everybody, and always taking on everything for everybody, and not even waiting for them to ask for help before doing that. So just really being like taking on the world, right? Carrying everything on my shoulders with or without being asked, with or without permission, even. And um one of the big lessons that has been coming through for me for several months now, this is not just during this challenge, but has been about letting people fall on their face. Like, literally, that's what it feels like to me, is just letting people get through their own struggles, letting people um, learn their own lessons, letting people deal with their own fallout from their mistakes, right? All of these things. And um, one of the quotes that is really helping me to hold on to reminding or being reminded of the fact that I don't need to carry everyone is hold space for the world to keep spinning on its own. And it's out of the mystical shaman oracle card deck. Um, and actually, I think is from the actual mystical shaman card as well. But I actually had it burned onto a journal, or I don't actually know if she burns it in or what she does, but one of the ladies in my group creates like custom journals with a quote or a word or whatever on it. And I had that put on for me for this year for a journal, um, to just keep that in my mind, right? To keep it fresh and in front of my face, kind of thing. And what really was coming up is that I mean, it's been a habit. It's been a habit for my whole life. And the messages that kept coming through was like, you're drowning yourself by carrying everybody else. You're drowning yourself by carrying everybody else. And I had heard it, but it hadn't really, sunk in until it got to the point where I was like, my life is falling apart again. And this was again before this challenge, but it was like, my life is falling apart again. What the hell? I'm doing everything. Why is it not working? All of this. And it was just like, you're literally, you have everyone on your back trying to swim across a river, and you've put so much up there now that you can't keep your head above water, and you are and then it wasn't just that, right? It wasn't just that level of it. It was also, and those people never asked to be carried. You just picked them up and put them on there anyways. And it is it was kind of a slap in the face, right? Like I'm doing it out of love, out of wanting to help, out of, all of these things. But what it really comes down to is a combination of control issues and boundaries, of having said yes for so many years. And even now that I have learned how to put up boundaries and to say no, it was a habit of just doing everything for everybody. So it wasn't even that I was saying yes to people anymore. It was that I was still just taking it all on, even though they weren't asking. Like I had put up my boundaries, people were respecting my boundaries, but I still carried them anyways, kind of a thing. So, and the control aspect of it just being like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. I need to do this or nobody will, kind of a mentality. And, again, like being very aware of this, I know that this has been a pattern for me, that this has been my history, and I am, I'm aiming to, not aiming to, like I'm actively working on this, on choosing not to just pick up the slack for everybody. Um, and I haven't really had too much fallout from it, a little bit, but nothing, super horrible has happened. And I am getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I can breathe and, all of this. But what was coming up today was that this was a repeat, right? This was um, being told that I was not supposed to be trying to heal everybody else, that I'm not supposed to be, that I'm actually not serving everybody, right? And it was this repeated message of like, don't go back there, don't go. I realized I was starting to do it again when um my daughter's dad showed up and was here, and I had all of these feelings of like, it wasn't even like there's no like romantic love between us anymore. It's been many years, right? But there is still love. He's one of my best friends. He's my daughter's father, like there's all of these things. And so of course I care about how he's doing. And I'm happy to help when I can and all of that. But what was coming up was like, okay, now what do I need to do to contribute to his healing process? What do I need to provide so that he has the safe space he needs to heal? And it was like all of these kinds of questions that were coming up into my head. And in all reality, the answer is nothing, none of that. I don't need to provide healing. If he asks for healing, then we can talk about whether I should be giving him any healing, right? As a shamanic practitioner, that's not actually in right relationship to just dump healing on people. It is like I should be more conscious of it than that. And it is like who people who want to heal, and then having it be a back and forth, right? A give and take of I'm healing and there's some sort of reciprocal energy. um Not necessarily money, not necessarily time, like it looks different sometimes in every case, but there's always some sort of reciprocal energy to keep it in right relationship. And when I don't, that's when I'm going underwater, right? That's when I'm carrying people, but they're not sustaining me back, and therefore I drown, kind of thing. So it was just the awareness coming in of like, "Ugh, I'm doing it again," right? And of course, it's extra easy to fall into those habits with specific people who I've done it with before, right? Like with people from my past who I have carried before, or who I have, always been the one to put in most of the effort, or who I have, always shown up for. And I don't have to change who I am to change that behavior. So I'm not changing the fact that I care, that I am, you know, available to be reached out to for that help if it's wanted and needed. Or, whatever. Just I'm still available for something. I'm not just like, I hate you, cutting you out of my life, never going to speak to you again because I carried you for too long and it was drowning me. No, because you know what? That was never asked of me. I just did it. So it's not like a punishment boundary. It's very much just I'm just not going to go over the top. I'm not going to include everything in the kitchen sink. I'm not going to, it's all of that. Um and still and not having to go farther to the other extreme and cut them out of my life either. So it's just like, yep, I'm here. You're welcome to be here. Um, if you need something, come and talk to me, but it's not offering, like pushing on this other human being who has their own feelings and their own mind and their own rights, pushing healing on them. Like that is actually not helpful. And whether it's healing or whether it's, solution making, problem solving type stuff. Like if it's like, okay, let's talk and figure out, like that's not actually, again, helpful. What's helpful is being energetically available for when they're ready to have that conversation and they come to you. And it's a small and mighty pivot, right? It's one of those things that's like very hard to maintain when you're in such a habit of doing it differently. And it's also very, very powerful. And making that energetic decision to change the way that I'm doing things like that, like all it takes is the decision. It doesn't even take the action part of it or like the forward, like ongoing part of it. It just takes the decision. Every single time when I make that decision, I am so empowered immediately. I have so much energetic support, I would say, from my guides, from my spirit team, whatever, when I make that decision and they know that I'm not just channeling all that into someone else and drowning myself, right? So, anyway, kind of rambly, but hopefully it made sense. This one was a little bit to do with the suspending disbelief movement and just a lot to do with sort of like the personal development, personal growth. And yet it's so tied in because it is key to me achieving my success that I be able to maintain my own energy. And if I am carrying everybody, especially with them fighting against it because they never asked for it, then I'm burning the candle at both ends. I'm wasting my energy and I am not going to be able to achieve success, right? So this does contribute to my success being inevitable. So um yeah. Anyway, I think that is all for today. So I hope everyone is doing so well. Thank you for listening. Please let me know if you are participating in this challenge, if you are joining us in this suspending disbelief movement. And I love to hear your stories about what it has caused for you, what it has done for you in your life, and the changes it's bringing about. Um, and on any level, right? Energetic, mind, spirit, body, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever you chose for your goals, for what your success looks like, I would love to know the progress, the realizations, the ahas, right? Any of it. I love hearing about it. So, I invite you to just, share a little bit in you can hit reply to the Q&A section on Spotify. You can follow me on social media and share on there. You can tag me, you can use the hashtag suspending disbelief. There's all sorts of ways to do this, right? But I appreciate every one of you who is doing this alongside of me, now and in the future. And thank you again for listening. And I will talk to you all tomorrow.